Good evening. Oh, God. I just butchered evening. All right, give me a sec.
Should we keep that in?
Yeah, we'll leave it in.
All right.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow hose drinkers. We are back with episode 11. Got a juicy one today. We're going to get through all the regular segments that we normally do. We are adding another weekly caller, perhaps.
We are.
Of course, we're going to do Gambling Corner, Winners, Losers, Mount Rushmore. And then we have a Chaos Theory at the end of the episode. It's a really interesting one. And then also, don't forget to stay around for our interview with Wilson Andress, famed Georgia Southern golfer and future PGA Tour winner.
Future PGA Tour Hall of Famer, we hope, too.
Hall of Famer.
Today is Wednesday, November 15th. It wasn't really a beautiful Wednesday. It's kind of bad weather we're having.
It's been kind of rainy and gloomy, but also you got to learn to appreciate the rain.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer making it rain in my backyard with the water hose, but, it is what it is. You can't... I don't condone drinking rainwater.
I was about to ask, how do you feel about drinking rainwater versus hose water?
Well, now, do I think rainwater is bad for you? No. But do I think it has all the nutrients that you need like the hose water does? No.
No, it definitely doesn't.
The hose water is like, it gives you all the right vitamins and proteins you need in just one glassful.
And just one glassful.
Like, you're just ready for the day. Like, screw the morning coffee. Little bit of hose water.
Little bit of hose water.
So, my song of the week this week, as always, it's what we start with. The Bandit by Jerry Reed.
Ooh, little Jerry Reed. I love that.
Yeah, I was having a hard time, like, I was listening to music today at work, like, trying to think of my song of the week, because, like, nothing was, like, hitting me yet. And I couldn't find any song, like, all day, and I was like, I don't know, like, this is not it. Like, good song, but next. As soon as I was on the way over here, that came on the shuffle, and I was like, bingo. That's
you
the song of
ever
the week.
come across a song on the shuffle that you really like and it's a great song, but you're like, if I listen to it again right now, it's going to be overplayed, and then I'm not going to want to listen to it next time?
100%.
So you'll skip it?
100%.
Yeah. All right, well...
Or it's going to be stuck in your head or something like that.
That is not the case with this one. I've been listening to this one all week long. It is Bad Luck by Zach Top, T-O-P Top.
I've never heard of that.
It is a good one. It is a good one.
Let me go ahead and add that to my playlist. What
Go ahead and add it in.
What is it again? Bad Friends?
Bad Luck by
Luck.
Zach Top.
Bad Friends. Andrew Santino. I'll give it a listen after we get done. I've never heard of that. I'll give it a listen. So the right answer. So as always, Wright Strickland. He's calling in from Statesboro, Georgia. 79% last week, and you said 79% he answers, and he did. What's the odds this week?
99.9 barring some kind of national emergency. I'm talking like they just instituted the draft for the military, and he's gone. I have the utmost faith.
I'm sorry, the person you are trying to reach has a voicemail box that has not been...
The troops are rolling out.
Oh my gosh.
The troops are rolling out.
Bro, check your email. We might have just gotten drafted.
Doesn't seem like it.
Doesn't seem like it.
Well, he's probably, knowing him, he's probably at Dingus.
He's probably a dingus. Do we just fit him in later whenever he calls back?
Yeah, sure. We'll give him a chance.
The show goes on. We'll fit the right answer in later. All right, a little bit of a general discussion. Anything you want to get to?
No, you want to tell the people our new segment?
Oh, all right. So I was thinking Coop's Corner, but we already got the Gambling Corner, so still workshopping it. But we have.
I thought it was the. I thought we were going to call it the Chicken Coop.
The Chicken Coop. That's it.
The Chicken Coop.
That's it. All right, we have another caller. This is our good friend Cooper Roberts, friend of the podcast, water hose drinker, all-star water hose drinker.
Yeah, this is we're going to be calling it the Chicken Coop as decided on the show.
Yep.
But so yeah, Cooper's going to probably give us a lock or two of the week, just any kind of sports or dumb things that's popping to his head. So Let's hear it from Cooper. Calling out of Savannah, Georgia. Georgia Southern grad, Alabama fan.
Yo.
We were just telling the people you're an Alabama fan, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's born into it, man. Just born into greatness.
Well, before we get going, you want to tell the people anything?
You know what? I'm just glad to be here, and I got some good topics to rattle off for y'all tonight. You know, when I talked to Josh earlier in the week and how I think it'd be cool to get some calls in and maybe have some questions or two go on, and I kind of rolled with it, so I'm excited to be here.
Well, I got a question for you before we get going. You know, the people got to know, how much hose water do you consume on a daily basis?
I mean, sheesh. Well, we got to see what time of year it is. Now this time of year, you know, just got to keep it just right, you know.
You're not staying hydrated like the hot summers.
Oh, but this is also cold water hose.
But just enough to keep that ticker ticking.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, you're like Alex said, we're dealing with the cold hose water now.
Yeah, so
That's
that's
nice.
where you really can taste the nitty gritty, all the fine minerals.
So what you got for us today, Coot?
All right, well, I kind of want to start it off. You know, we're getting into that part of the season. I want to rattle off and ask y'all some predictions, what y'all think.
All right.
We can maybe go back and forth. So, obviously, addressing the elephant in the room, I want to know what y'all think about this SEC championship game prediction. And, you know, maybe go into – because, I mean, if you look at it, you know, Alabama's starting to, like, start to develop into their own kind of identity. You know, it started off rough, and then each week, you know, we start seeing a little bit more. It's kind of formed into something special. But on the other hand, Georgia, you know, they've just been a powerhouse all year with some, you know, there's some iffy games here and there, but that's just, you know, it's just hard to win a football game. People think it's just easy, but it's not easy to win football games. So I just want to see what y'all think about, like, y'all's prediction, how the game's going to go, especially with, you know, Georgia having some injuries on the defensive side, but still how they beat every team handily, even with these injuries, and especially, like, with Brock Bowers and stuff. So I just want to see what y'all's predictions are about it.
Well, you know, Georgia's run defense has not been as good as it has been in the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of hard to beat, you know, just knowing all the guys that got drafted to the NFL. I mean, it speaks for itself. But for Alabama to potentially win the SEC championship, they're going to have to rely on the running game, but I truly don't see it happening. I don't see Alabama winning. Yeah, it's probably going to be a close game, but I don't know. I think the Dogs are just that good again this year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I saw an early line for it. I think they either had Georgia -1 or it was just even blood. So, I mean, Vegas is basically just saying y'all have at it. Probably looking at a relatively high total. I'd say mid-50s if I had to guess.
I think Josh Pate's got it at 3, 2.5, 3.
In Georgia's favor?
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah,
So,
and I like to think I'm a realist Alabama fan. I've told all my Georgia buddies this year, I don't think personally we're going to win it. And like you said, with us, I feel like all you got to do is just stack that box and make Milroe throw it. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
if he's running, I mean, yeah, he's just as good as anybody out there, but there's still some throws that, you know, make me iffy. So, I mean, I think it's going to go two ways. One, we could win it barely and then have the potential of having like a 2021 replay where we have to play y'all again, and then, you know, you're not going to beat a good team like that twice. But realistically, I just see us not winning it, and then they're going to keep a 2-loss Bama team out of.
Well, Georgia's got a top 20 in the nation secondary too. So I mean, like you said, if the Dogs make Alabama pass the ball, the ability to create turnovers is going to be key.
Yeah, that's what I think. So
in my humble opinion, the loser of the SEC championship is not in the playoffs. There's too many teams vying for that 4 spot that are going to be in over the loser.
So if Bama wins the SEC, do you still put the 2-loss Bama in and Georgia out?
Well, Georgia or Bama would be just 1 loss then.
They've only lost 1 game to Texas?
Yes.
Okay.
They've only lost 1 game to Texas. Georgia is out in that case. No conference is getting 2 games in. Or, I mean, 2 teams in this year.
This actually leads me to my next thing, was I wanted y'all to hear y'all's playoff picture prediction, because I mean, like, what 4 teams do y'all think will be in, and what 4 teams do y'all think should be in or heavily considered?
I'll wrap up my Bama prediction and then roll that into my playoff prediction. I think the
Okay.
matchup to watch is Georgia's OLBs versus Jalen Milroe. Can you keep him contained? Can you set the edge? Do not let him get out of the pocket. And then on the flip side is Georgia's O-line versus Bama's pass rush. Georgia's O-line played their best game of the week last week. If Georgia keeps Carson Beck clean and Beck takes care of the ball, I think Georgia wins that football game. Currently, I have 13-0 Georgia at number 1. I'm going to go 13-0 Ohio State 2. I'm going to go 12-1 Pac-12 champion Oregon at number 3. And I'm going to go 12-1 Texas Big 12 champion at number 4. I think Florida State drops a game between either going to Florida or in the ACC championship against Louisville.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I think if Florida State makes it, I think they make it. I'm gonna say Florida State at 4. I like Oregon. I think we're probably gonna see Oregon versus Michigan at 2 and 3. Michigan being 2. I think they got a chip on their shoulder right now, and I think they're just better than Ohio State. And I personally, we talked about it on one of our first episodes before the season started. We said we wouldn't be surprised if Michigan won the whole damn thing, especially right now with the chip they got on their shoulder, and of course Georgia at number 1. So, which I don't see a potential Georgia versus Florida State. I don't see Florida State putting up 20 points.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I saw something crazy on the internet saying, if all these top 8 teams right now win out, besides, like if Ohio State wins out, FSU wins out, Oregon wins out, which means they have to beat Washington in that matchup, and then Bama wins out, do you potentially leave out an FSU undefeated ACC championship team
No.
just because of their schedule, or do you put in a one-loss Bama with Ohio State and Georgia and Michigan, or Oregon? I meant, sorry.
well, I think what's going to
There's
be
a lot of shit
interesting.
going on.
What I think is going to be interesting is Oregon State is a 2-point favorite at home versus Washington this week.
That is fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So if Oregon State makes it dicey with DJU, I mean, Oregon's kind of got that conference in the bag.
Yeah.
I mean, Washington's played a lot of close games. I don't see them. I think Bo Nix wins the Heisman and Oregon makes the playoffs.
Here's the crazy thing, Chicken Man, is if the top 3 are locked in, let's say you got an undefeated Big Ten champion, undefeated Florida State, and perhaps an undefeated Washington or Oregon, and then you have Texas sitting at 12-1 Big 12 champ and Alabama sitting at 12-1 SEC champ. If Texas finishes the year covering spreads and doing what they're expected to do, I don't see any way you put an Alabama over Texas because Texas has the head-to-head win.
For sure. I 100% agree.
I agree, and they had to go through Tuscaloosa to get that win. But they haven't been covering spreads all year. I mean, they almost lost to Kansas State. They, which I don't know what that spread was, but I thought they were favored more than about 3, which they lost by 3, didn't they? Or won by 3, I meant.
Yeah, something like that.
Now that's my stipulation. Is Texas has to finish the year with some
Agreed.
panache.
Well,
Agreed, yeah. I
that
mean,
also
they finished
starts with
strong,
Quinn
there's no
Ewers.
way yeah.
Quinn Ewers is coming off of an injury, and they're going to play him this weekend. So I mean, he hasn't played in a while.
Yeah, that's risky.
Yeah, but you got anything else for us, Coop? What else you got?
I just wanted to go into, I know we talked about maybe giving y'all some locks for the week. So on a hypothetical standpoint,
Because we can't gamble, of course.
Yeah, correct. So the first one I got, and I think the line's already changed by a point because I looked at it earlier in the week just because I love these hypotheticals so much. I'm taking Georgia Southern -7 at home against ODU.
Love
It's
it.
6.5 now, but love it.
Okay, so 6.5. But I mean, they're undefeated at home. They also, we don't look as great on the road. but they're going for that perfect, home win streak this year and doing it for the seniors. And I think they're going to get it done because it's just a crazy atmosphere in Paulson. There's no way they drop this game.
Love it.
Defend Paulson. Love it.
Yeah. So, second one, I absolutely believe in this 100%, is Georgia versus Tennessee over 58.5. I think Georgia could get that done by themselves after seeing last week.
Interesting.
Or if you want to, dabble with the spread, get a little better odds to do minus 10.5. I think both of those are just, put your money where your mouth is. That's just going all the way.
For sure.
And the last one I have is actually what y'all kind of talked about earlier. I like Washington State minus 4.5 against Colorado.
I like that a lot. That's a Friday night game, I believe.
It is. And I'm telling you, man, Washington State, they beat number 10 Oregon State at home. And they played Oregon pretty close, for the team Oregon is. And they played a shitty Stanford team close who beat Colorado at home. So,
Yeah.
I mean, everything's lining up for me to take Washington State.
Oh, Wazoo.
Do it for Mike Leach.
Yeah, got to do it for Big Mike.
Oh, dude, you got anything else for the people?
No, this last one for the, I guess, so y'all agree on this segment for the, chicken coop?
Yeah, chicken
I
coop.
love the chicken coop.
All right, well, I'm going to leave y'all with this as a little brain rattler, and then I'll hang up and let y'all talk about it, and I'll see it in whenever this gets posted.
All right.
Since this is the chicken coop, I'm going to leave y'all with this. What came first, the chicken or the egg? So I'm going to let y'all out of that one off, and I'm signing off.
All right, Coop. I'll see it.
See y'all.
That was the chicken coop with Cooper Roberts, big host drinker. He got some good questions in there. That was really good.
Dude, that was good. That was a good 10-minute little call-in, man. I mean, I hope we keep that up. I mean, he's definitely going to be more reliable than the right answer is. So,
Dude, I'm disappointed in Wright because obviously I gave him 99.9% chance of picking up.
yeah, I mean, he's obviously going to fight the war, whatever war we're fighting. I'm not going to get into that.
Anyways, they knew that our podcast was too important to send us overseas.
100%.
The people need this in wartime.
100%.
Anyways, chicken came first.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say chicken came first.
Chicken came first.
Chicken came first.
We reached consensus.
Now, do I know why or how? No. But the chicken came first. No reasoning behind it at all. Chicken came first.
Well, I don't see anywhere where it says, and God created an egg.
Yeah. No kidding. So, I got a couple things for general discussion. I want to talk a little bit about Broncos and Bills.
What a stinky game.
Did Jim Harbaugh pass away?
No. He didn't.
And then I want to talk a little bit of Missouri. So I guess I'll start with this past Monday Night Football, Broncos, Bills. The return of Damar Hamlin, who was the 12th man on the field for the field goal. Bet the Bills were really hoping he wouldn't have been on the field that game.
Yep.
Because, that happened last year against the Bengals.
Yeah.
I don't think you can really say that on YouTube. So we're
too
going to
late.
stick with that happened. Broncos won on a game-winning field goal. Bills had 12 men on the field, and the Broncos kicker missed it. Play gets called back, makes a game-winning kick, thanks to Damar Hamlin.
Thanks to Damar Hamlin.
NFL Comeback Player of the Year. Did you see Michigan's interim coach, whatever his name is, don't really care what it is, crying like after the game about Jim Harbaugh?
Unfortunately, I did.
I mean, they really made it seem like he passed.
It made it seem like Harbaugh got drafted.
Yeah, like Harbaugh's going to the war, man. But yeah, I mean, free Jim Harbaugh, I guess. I mean, I just feel like Michigan fans were acting like he's no longer here with us. You know what I mean? Like, I just thought it was weird.
He's probably in the locker room on the headset.
No, I don't think he's allowed to be anywhere in the vicinity.
Of course, at face value, he's not allowed to be anywhere near.
Yeah, no kidding.
But you're telling me they went that entire game without having any contact from Harbaugh?
Yeah, when he can coach all week during
Yeah,
practice.
come on,
and
let's
stuff.
let's not be silly.
But dude, they didn't even need to throw the ball. But JJ McCarthy was like 8 for 9 or something like that, man. Like they ran the absolute tar out the ball. But last thing I got for general discussion, man, Missouri 45-3 over Rocky Top.
They thumped Tennessee.
I mean, dude, I'm going to say it again. We've said it probably every single episode for the last couple weeks, man. I love Eli Drinkwitz. They got a good thing rolling in Mizzou, man.
They do have a good thing rolling at Mizzou. He's got a really good recruiting class for 2024. I don't know. Checks notes. Who had? Oh, it was me that had Missouri money line last week. I forgot about that. That's crazy. They called me a madman. They said he's in there raving about nonsense. No, Tiger money line.
Yeah. So yeah, dude. Missouri's good, dude. You mentioned something about recruiting, and we got another signing day, first signing day coming up here in about a month. When that rolls around, man, we need to really kind of dive into recruiting on our Georgia and Georgia Southern.
Which, if we want to follow a little rabbit hole, I hate the first signing day in December. It is an absolute overload on college coaches. And we are already starting to see it, and I think that, for an example close to home, was Matt Luke, the Georgia offensive line head coach, retired still in the prime of his coaching career because he cannot keep up with all of the responsibilities. Dude, think about it in December. You are preparing for the conference championship, if you're playing for one, preparing for a bowl game. You're worried about practice. You're worried about keeping your own team recruited from going into the portal, and then you're also trying to recruit high school players. It's too much, and you're going to see more and more of college coaches in their prime getting burned out of the game and leaving too soon.
Yeah, no, I mean, I 100% agree with you. I feel like if your team, just doesn't matter who, you really got to have a lot of faith in your recruiting staff because, like you said, these coaches got a lot of things they got to worry about on a day in day out basis. And I mean, you got to have a good recruiting staff behind you, and obviously some of these teams do, but you just got to have faith in those guys, man. That's hard for a head coach because you really want to handpick every single one of your players,
I'm an advocate for having, if you want to do an early signing day, do it in August. Get it done, sign, your
before the season starts.
Yes, before the season starts, get you 10 to 15 guys inked, and you're just like, oh, I don't have to worry about them for the rest of the year. I don't have to keep FaceTiming them every single day, wondering if they're getting a bag offer from a different school, and then you have your primary signing day in February, as it always is.
Yeah, I mean, I always like the February, honestly. I just think that's perfect. But early signing day, I understand if kids they want some of these kids to start that January and forgo the second half of their senior year. But I feel like maybe there should be like a transfer, not like signing day, but just like a solid, more defined period of the transfer window for players to do.
Yes.
And you have one period, meaning like, let's just say we have like a transfer portal, like signing day. Like, that'd be crazy.
That would be pretty crazy.
You replace that with already high school signing day and you keep that in February. If kids want to go early, they can go early. It is what it is. You got anything for us?
Was that all for you for general?
Yeah.
I had a couple of things. Just brief mention of the Hawks now sitting at 6-4. I don't really know what to make the Hawks. It's not basketball season until February for me. The Hoop Dogs 2-1. I am excited about the Hoop Dogs. I like watching college basketball. They play at Miami Friday, or I think that might be one of those tournaments where it's a neutral site. But big win over Wake Forest last Friday, and then had another win on Sunday. So Hoop Dogs rolling a little bit. Love to see that.
I don't think Georgia Southern basketball's won a game.
Yeah, Georgia Southern basketball. They're breaking in a new head coach this year, so just give it time.
Yeah, they're 0-3.
It has to be discussed, but the Mississippi State Texas A&M game on Saturday, Texas A&M walloped Mississippi State 47-10, and both head coaches were subsequently fired.
Yeah, is that the first time?
Which
Hold
apparently...
up, breaking news. The NCAA postseason waiver requests for James Madison and Jacksonville State and Tarleton State were rejected today. The NCAA Division I Board Administration Committee made the final decision, which echoed the conclusion of the three other committees that met on it. So there was James Madison, Jacksonville State, and Tarleton State all put in their appeals for postseason play, and it got denied.
NCAA never cared about athletes.
Yeah. So sorry to interrupt you.
No, dude, that's freaking ridiculous. Obviously, James Madison did thump Georgia Southern pretty good, but I am also an advocate for James Madison. I think it's unfair what they're doing. I get the reasoning behind it. The original decision behind this postseason ban for first year in FBS is the thought process of teams coming up from the FCS, making a bag from being in the FBS, and then going back down and dominating.
Yeah, and this is probably like the first time it's happened. I mean, Jacksonville State's pretty damn good. Never heard of Tarleton State.
No.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, you just got to stick to the rules. But
You got to stick to the rules.
Going back to what you were saying, is that the first time that two head coaches have been fired
After they played each
after
other?
they played each other? That's
don't
not
know.
at the end of the season? Because maybe like at last game of the year, so I'm kind of cutting that out.
I'm sure it has happened, but not in recent memory.
Not that I remember at all.
So apparently the Texas A&M board came to that decision on Thursday before the game. So, I mean, it was a done deal regardless.
Did you see the check that they gave to the Athletic Foundation during the game? $162 million or something like that.
Ooh, boy.
And they got to pay Jimbo, what, 76? Something like that? 76 million?
$77.5 million buyout.
Holy shit. Man. That's insane. I mean, like Ed Orgeron said, when you want me to leave, what door you want me to walk out of? Like, hell, I'll mop the damn floors if you want me to for that much money.
Yeah, I don't have it on my board in front of me. This is why we needed Jamie. But it was somewhere along the lines of Jimbo Fisher basically got paid like $12 million per top 25 win.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So now Texas A&M and Mississippi State both looking for a new HC. Texas A&M, for those of you sitting there and thinking, oh, they'll never be good. They'll always have money, but they'll never reach it only takes the right hire, dude. That's exactly what they were saying about Georgia before Kirby Smart.
100%.
Is a team with unlimited potential that'll never just get it right.
Yeah.
A&M is that team.
And the financial backing, too.
Yes.
I mean, 100% A&M more so than Georgia. On the
Well, yeah,
financial
A&M
backing.
already has better financial backing than Georgia did in 2016.
But Texas A&M head coach, who would it be? Go. Who's it going to be?
My gut says Mike Elko.
Okay, I'm with you. Mississippi State? I'll go. Troy head coach. Can't remember his name right now, but he's going to go.
I like that. Mississippi State makes me think a little bit.
Or UTSA's head coach. He's in the picture for both.
Because Mississippi State, dude, you not have near the resources that you have at A&M.
Yeah.
You don't have the history behind you. You don't have the recruiting behind you. That is a tall task. And I saw somebody throw out Glenn Schumann's name, and Kirby did this with Dan Lanning. Obviously, I'm not sitting in on these meetings, but I like to imagine that Kirby is sitting there and telling Schumann, wait. The job that you want is coming, just wait.
Yeah.
And Mississippi State's not it. So
No.
I don't think that's Schumann's job.
No, I mean, Dan Lanning, obviously, he probably could have gotten a head coaching job.
Way before Oregon.
Yeah, before Oregon, but what if he had the success? Great example here, another one, Brent Venables. Venables could have gotten a head coaching job 4 or 5 years ago, honestly. And he waited it out at Clemson, and then he got his right job at Oklahoma. Yeah. And it seems to be paying off and going in the right direction.
Are rolling this year.
Yeah, no kid, man. No, that is a good point. I'm glad you brought that up, though.
All right, final general topic of discussion. Landmark deal, monster trade just went down today.
Breaking news.
The Alaskan Pipeline has acquired T.J. Hawkinson for a 2025 first and a 2024 second. That is, it's my fantasy team.
Can you say 2023-2024 fantasy football champions.
All right, easy. So
I mean, I'm predicting it right here, man.
So I'm
That's
in
just
a
me.
dynasty league. For those of you that are unaware, you do an initial startup draft, and then you keep those guys until somebody wins 3 championships or 10 years is up. So, I mean, when I drafted, I'm drafting my team for pretty much the next decade. So, yeah, just traded away a 2025 first, 24 second for TJ Hawkinson. Gives us a big shot in the arm at tight end. We're sitting at number 3 in the league right now. We're feeling good.
Well, we were talking about before the episode, what if Big Kirko comes back to the Vikings? He is a free agent, but who knows? Josh Dobbs is obviously not their franchise quarterback, so they're probably going to draft somebody. And rookie quarterbacks have a tendency to lean on their tight ends as
Yes,
well.
they do.
So I
Yes,
think
they
you're
do.
in a good situation for the next
I feel really
decade.
good about it, dude. I mean, obviously, I don't ever want to give up first, but I keep my first for 2024, and
I mean, Hawk's probably got another solid at least 5 years. in him.
26 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Wow. That's pretty. I thought he was almost 30.
Yeah, he's one of the, I think him and Laporta are like the top 2 valued tight ends in Dynasty.
Yeah, man. Gosh, he's young. Well, I mean, Kyle Pitts is definitely have to be up there, but they just don't give him the ball enough. So
Kyle Pitts, if he was in a proper system, would be top 3.
yeah, dude. Falcons don't seem like they're going to make a move on Arthur Smith, dude. So I
think it's very dependent on how the rest
I
of the year
did
plays
kind of
out.
want to get into the Dirty Birds a little bit, but I was going to wait to the end because spoiler, they're my loser. So
Okay. All right. We'll hold up there. Dogs. All right. So let me check my notes. It has dogs whooping. And then a little spoiler ahead. It has Jags whooping parentheses bad. Holy cow. I don't think anybody saw that coming. 52-17, absolutely just thumped Ole Miss in the head and said, get out of here. I was at the game, my first game of the year, super exciting, saw the red lights and all that stuff, pretty cool. Athens was jumping, stadium was so loud. That is probably, thinking about loudest games I've heard at Sanford Stadium. It's up there with 2019 Notre Dame, just in recent memory.
Yeah, I haven't been that 2019 Notre Dame game. That was the last Georgia game I was at, so I hadn't been in a while.
Surprisingly, 2021 Arkansas noon game was one of the loudest I've heard.
My opinion, I definitely have to say the Notre Dame game, because besides that, I was in high school, 6 years ago when I went to a Georgia game. But what you really want to tell the people, we'll hold off on that one for the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, Carson Beck still looks good, man. Kendall Milton had a good game too.
Kendall Milton, legacy game.
Yeah, dude, that was huge. I'm glad to see him back in full form.
9 carries, 127 yards, 2 tugs.
Yeah, dude, on 9 carries too. That was impressive. Dude, Brock Bowers is back. The guy's not human, man.
No, he's not.
I mean, Lad McConkey, he's got that one route going viral right now.
Yeah.
I mean, just truly insane.
That
Lad's
was
a
nasty.
beast.
Dude, Georgia has a plethora of weapons at their disposal, and Carson Beck's doing a great job distributing the balls to guys. Bowers was not the favorite target. I thought that he was going to be just eased in, play like 20-ish snaps.
He played like 40 snaps.
Buddy was out there almost the entire game.
Yeah, he played 35, 40 snaps.
It was
on
all
Saturday.
over the place. Georgia ran for over 300, 5 touchdowns on the ground. Beck had 2 tutties and 1 interception. That was not his fault. It was dropped and bobbled.
That was a good team win, obviously, but they really kind of channeled their old school Georgia with a little running attack too.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Went under center a lot, dude. That was cool to see. You hear something great? Ole Miss came into that game top 10 in the country in sacks and tackled for loss. Didn't record a single one.
Really?
I will have to go back and watch the tape, but I am not sure that they laid a finger on Carson Beck in the backfield the entire game.
Really? I mean, you talked about it earlier. I mean, you said when we were talking to Cooper that it was the best offensive line performance Georgia's had this year.
Yes,
Dude,
far and away.
Mims is unreal, dude.
He just solidified his draft stock, bona fide first round.
Dude, I am praying that the Jets get him, dude. Because
Well, I
he's
hope they
right.
don't, because I want the Jags to get it.
Yeah. Well, we're probably going to have a better pick than you.
Yeah,
So, but we'll get into them in a minute. But, dude, last thing I got for Georgia is, I mean, yeah, it was an ass whooping, but, dude, what do you think about? Because we saw Vandergriff get in at the end of the game. Mm-hmm. Do you think Vandergriff is the number 2? Because we've seen more of him this year than Gunnar Stockton.
Yes, we have. I think that right now Vandergriff is the number 2. My gut tells me that Brock Vandergriff is not on Georgia's roster next year, which I will hate that because I love Brock Vandergriff. I think he's going to be really good.
Because you got Rayola coming in.
I think that all of the signs are pointing towards Carson Beck coming back. Then you have Stockton there. Then you have Rayola there. Then you have Puglisi coming in as well. I think it's going to be a crowded room. And, dude, between Beck, Stockton, Vandergriff, Rayola, and Puglisi, 1, maybe 2 of those guys is not going to be able to roster next year.
Yeah, hopefully there's an NIL collective in Statesboro got their eyes open for Brock Vandergriff.
Vandergriff is a bona fide college football starter.
Yeah, man. He's good.
And dare I say a Power 5 level starter.
Yeah, dude, but he'll definitely go to another Power 5. He won't cut to Georgia Southern. I don't think Georgia Southern's going to take a quarterback in the transfer portal this year.
Really?
We got I can't remember, drawing a blank on the kid's name. We got a good quarterback coming in this class that's committed. That's plans on just signing in a month. You got David Dallas back there. He's coming off an injury in the throwing shoulder.
Any relation to DJ Dallas?
No. He's got a twin brother that's a wide receiver.
Cool.
Who's pretty good too, honestly. He's seen a lot more. I think he got redshirted last year, so he's seen a pretty decent amount of playing time. His brother Josh is going to be a legit threat next year in the wide receiver room. But David, he's got to clean up the throwing shoulder. He's smart, but I think J.C. French is that guy for next year too.
J.C. French is that guy?
Yeah. Transferred, was originally at Memphis.
I have one more thing for the Dogs, and let's jump into some
My
Eagle
point
talk.
being, sorry,
You good?
developing talent.
Developing talent, yes. Not just relying on one-year rentals.
Yes.
But big game at Tennessee this week. Georgia's favored by 10.5. The game total is 59. I always do these things where I make a mental prediction earlier in the day, and then somebody comes in and says the opposite, and then I feel like an ass fading them. But I have Georgia winning like 34-27.
Yeah.
I think it's an ugly, hard-fought game. On paper, Georgia should win this game by 2 or 3 touchdowns. You can actually find my prediction on Dog Central. So you can go in there and see my full rundown. Graham Coffee also puts out a great prediction each week, so go and check that out. But I like a 34-27. Tennessee scores a touchdown late, make it look a little bit closer than it was. But I think it gets kind of ugly.
I mean, I see UGA smacking them down on Rocky Top, man.
This may also be me kind of hedging.
I mean, do I think they put up 52? No. Do I think they probably put up close to 40? For sure. 44-17.
That's the score that my heart tells me. No, that's the score that my head tells me. But I'm following my heart on this one, and I think it's just a hard-fought, weird SEC road game.
Yeah, I mean, you're in Rocky Top, so that's no easy place to play. I mean, Neyland Stadium's going to be a packed house, for sure. Anything else on Georgia?
Oh, one last thing. Tennessee, when I was doing my preview, they are 132nd out of 133 FBS teams in time of possession. Something to keep an eye on Saturday.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting. That's a good stat. Might have to tweet that one out.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got anything else?
No. Go Dogs.
Yeah, go Dogs. So, dude, Georgia Southern, tough loss in Huntington, West Virginia against Marshall. I was there. Opening kickoff goes for a touchdown. What are you going to do? You create 2 turnovers, but the red zone efficiency was bad, man. A lot of field goals. Couldn't punch it in the end zone. I thought maybe a play call here or there. We tried to get cute, but as a whole, it was fine. I'll get into that here in a second. But yeah, man. I mean, that's the first loss we've had this year with no turnovers. So you win the turnover battle and you still lose, and you've won 1 road game this year, and you still got ODU at home this weekend, and then at App State. And the way it's looking at right now, somehow if App wins this weekend against JMU, that game in Boone, North Carolina is going to see who goes to the conference championship.
That is very exciting.
Yeah, so, I mean, App, hopefully they lose both games because I hypothetically have their under 7.5 win total this year.
Hypothetically.
So, no, I think it's 7, actually. Doesn't matter. I mean, screw App State, but
I always hypothetically do terrible in win totals.
yeah, I mean, they're fun.
They're
still fun.
I'm going to do them every year hypothetically, but
I mean, Georgia Southern is win totals at 6.5, and we're at 6 right now. So we need to win bad, man.
no, we're going to find one.
Bad, but it's just a pretty bad game in the red zone overall. Jalen White had a good game. Caleb Hood played well. Davis played above average, not bad, not great either. Derwin Burgess had a good game. Defense, gotta stop the run, man. We're creating a lot of turnovers, but the run defense has just not been great. But really what I wanted to get into is all these Georgia Southern fans on Twitter, man, like calling for Brian Ellis and Coach Helton's like to be fired.
It makes me sick.
Like, warning, I'm dropping an F-bomb. What the fuck are you talking about?
What is that? Is that our fourth? Third?
Yeah, I think it's 4th. I'm gonna go 4.
We just start putting this like little jar.
Yeah, we need $1 in the jar every time we drop the F-bomb. But I mean, seriously, what is going on here? You're 6-4. You got a legitimate shot at making the conference championship if you win out. Why are we talking about these people need to be fired? Like, these are probably the same people that wanted Chad Lunsford to stay as our head coach. Like, come on. Like, did you support Tyson Summers too? Like, come on, people. Like,
Is this year 3 of Helton? Year 2. Year 2.
Dude, you take over a 3-win ball team, you win 6 wins and make a bowl game your first year. You're 6-4 right now and a chance at the conference championship, and you're telling me our head coach and OC needs to be fired? What are you talking about? And if anything, they need a freaking pay raise.
Yes, if I had a nickel for every very good head coach that was fired after 2 to 3 years and never given time, I mean, dude, Georgia and Alabama and perhaps Clemson, maybe a handful of others, are rare instances where a coach comes in and just gets everything right and nails it in year 2.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. That's not reality for 95% of college football.
For sure.
And, dude, I think that, Josh, I'm going to say something nice about Florida. I think that Billy Napier is getting the same treatment right now.
Oh, 100%.
That he still has a roster full of not his guys. He's recruiting pretty well.
He needs another recruiting cycle.
Yes, give him a couple more cycles. Now, when you get into year 4 and year 5 and you have a roster full of your own guys and it's still the same shit, then we start looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point because the majority of the team is not Coach Helton's guys. Like, he didn't recruit them or get them in the transfer portal personally. So, I mean, you're still dealing with a lot of guys that were there with the coaching change, which is fine. Not saying they're bad players at all, but it's just like, how do you even think that these coaches need to lose their job?
Well,
like,
look,
please tell me that. Like, I mean, it's just amazing to me how dumb people are, and like, oh my gosh, we're struggling on the road. Okay. So do the majority of the teams in college football. Struggle on the road.
yes.
I mean, it's just what it is. I mean, yeah, we should have beaten Marshall, but you know what? They always say any given Saturday, any given Sunday, anybody can beat anybody. That's the beauty of college football. Mm-hmm. That's the beauty of the NFL. I mean, you play a bad game, you go out there and you lose. Yeah, it is what it is. You should have won, but at the end of the day, flush it down the toilet. Let's go 1-0 next week.
Let's go 1-0 next week. The only game that matters is the next one.
For sure. And I mean, I could go on for days about it, but that's all I got.
I think it's absolutely stupid. I love Coach Helton. I think he's doing a good job. You already got a bowl game blocked up. You're fighting for a conference championship spot. Give him time.
Yeah.
Give him time.
Yeah, like we said, just needs another recruiting cycle. Things are trending upwards right now. So
Things are trending upwards. Just press pause. Be patient.
So I don't have much on the Jets. All I'm going to say is you can't score touchdowns, and Aaron Rodgers will be back in December. So that's all I got. Defense is great. Sorry. That's all I got.
Yep, so I already said whooping, parentheses, bad. I'm not even going to mention a single word about what happened against the 49ers. All I'm going to say is
Bad.
the road gets tougher from here. Titans, Texans, Bengals, Browns, Ravens, all in a row.
Ooh, what's the Jags record right now?
6-3.
Okay, I got over 9.5.
I allegedly do too.
Yeah. So, yeah, not a good week for the NFL, dude. We were, if you include the Falcons, we were 1-5 on our favorite teams.
Yeah.
So, with the only win being Georgia. We had somebody on Twitter comment, like, I think I tweeted out something like, Georgia was the only team to win. Some guy was like, the mix of Georgia Southern and Georgia and the Jets and Jags is elite. And I was just like, yeah, dude. Like,
I know who that is. I'll tell you after.
Yeah.
But, yeah, guy named Redacted was giving us a little bit of grief on Twitter.
Yeah. No, he wasn't giving us grief.
Yeah, less grief.
It
just
was
more so.
It was funny grief.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny grief.
No, I mean,
Wasn't
it's a fair point. It's
Yeah.
like, how did two Georgia guys start pulling for the Jaguars and Jets?
Well, Jags kind of makes sense because Jacksonville is close, but dude, I'm a Jets fan. Like, the best way I can describe it to you is Darrelle Revis, man. That's it.
Bro, I know this guy. Grew up with, went to school. He was, at one point, I don't know if he still is, an Oregon football fan. Now, keep in mind, this guy went to school in Middle Georgia. Oregon football fan, Steelers NFL fan, Warriors NBA fan, Dodgers baseball fan. I won't dox you, but if he happens to watch this, I'm judging you.
Don't come on the podcast.
No, we might need to just pick his brain on that.
That is funny. There's this kid I went to high school with, dude. He was a diehard Tom Brady fan, man, and it was so terrible.
Also, you know what I don't get is people that pull for different colleges and different sports. Like, I'll see somebody just be like, yeah, Alabama football fan and Kansas basketball fan. It's like,
Yeah.
what? What?
Corey Toole, Georgia football fan, Kansas basketball.
Dadgummit, Corey Toole. I wasn't even talking about him right there, but dadgummit, man.
I think he might have family out in Kansas.
No, dude, hoop dogs. Hoop dogs. We only come up.
Yeah, man, like you said, basketball season don't start till February. So,
It doesn't.
Yeah. You got anything else before we dive into hypothetical picks?
Let's go to the corner.
The old gambling corner, because we are in a corner now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start us off. I went undefeated last week, 0-4, undefeated and losing. I am 16-20 on the year. Last week put a hurt into me on my record. I feel like since week 1 or 2, this is the first time I've dipped into the losing column. Unfortunately, below 500.
And we're going into week 11 of college football. That's not too bad.
So if you include both of our picks plus pay, not including the celebrity guest pickers, you're positive.
Mm-hmm.
Positive. So I'm 16-20 on the year. Like I said last week, your team comes off a loss. Georgia Southern's coming off 2 losses. -6.5. Book it.
Get right game back in Paulson. Love it.
They're calling me G5 Josh again this week as well.
I've heard people
are in the
say that.
mentions. Be like, you got to stick to it. Run it back. Not a good week last week.
People on the street walking to the gas station said, "Oh, dude, you do the pod with G5 Josh."
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man, that's him.
So we actually got a game going on right now. We'll get a little score update. So I have Miami of Ohio -7.5 versus Buffalo.
Miami of Ohio Redhawks?
Yes. It is 0-0 in the second quarter. Miami has the ball 1st and 10 on Buffalo's 44.
Hey, I will say, I did this thing on the internet a couple of weeks ago where it just gives you the name of the school and you have to name their mascot. I got all 133.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty. I've seen a lot of that stuff on TikTok, man. Let's look into that one day.
Let's
We'll
look
do
into
something. We could maybe factor in like a specialty segment that one episode.
That. I like that.
Let's look into that, man. Last thing I got, for G5 Josh this week is JMU -9 over Crap State, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think our good friend Pepe has that as well. He's really got some stuff in store for us this
The
week.
Dukes versus the Mountaineers. That's just a little taste.
Yeah, college game day's there. I would hate nothing more than to see App State win on college game day.
Yeah, that'd be brutal.
Even though, it is an App State game, it is at JMU. Don't like JMU either. The one bone I have to pick with ESPN is that Herb Streak's not calling the game.
What game is he calling?
He's flying out somewhere West Coast or something like that.
USC, UCLA, perhaps?
Maybe. Which doesn't make sense at all. Like, college game days there, you should be calling the game.
Yeah, he should, dude.
He's not calling the game.
And it's good for G5 representation.
For sure. But the games, like, all they're going to talk about is Jim Harbaugh and, like, shit like that. They're not even going to cover Group of Five stuff at all.
Hey,
Or Sun Belt. I bet you they don't even hardly even cover, like, the Sun Belt East race.
No, definitely not, dude.
They're just going to talk about how JMU should be bowl eligible, blah, 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 blah. Like, they're not actually going to talk about this East race. Sun Belt East is
Over under
madness.
the amount of times that they mentioned the Chiefs-Eagles game on college game.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm setting it at 4.5.
Got an absolute Kelsey stroke fest on Monday night, dude.
I don't even want to entertain it.
I don't even think I want to watch it, man, because Taylor Swift's going to be there, and they're just going to show her in every single play. Like,
I'm watching it on mute, or I'm going to watch the Manning cast.
Manning cast. That's what I was thinking. What's your picks this week, man?
I went 2-1 last week, 19-13 on the year. To start us off, I got USC -7 versus UCLA. Bounce back game for the Trojans. Plus, apparently they're going to fire Chip Kelly regardless of what happens in the USC game. So,
Which is crazy that they're letting him coach one more game.
Yeah, dude. I hate like bringing out the rumors of firing a head coach and then keeping him there, dude. Like just having such little job security and coaching in the back of your mind with like, well, it doesn't matter what I do this game, I'm getting canned.
Yeah.
I hate that. And dude, Chip Kelly is going to find either an OC or an analyst job like that.
For sure.
All right. South Carolina money line versus Kentucky. I think Kentucky is favored by 1.5. South Carolina got him at home. We are no longer in Cocktober. We are in Cockvember. South Carolina money line. And I got Giants plus 8.5 at the Commies.
Dude, the G-Strings got the shit kicked out of them versus the Cowboys.
Yes, they did. But, dude, I think this is going to be one of those weird NFL games. We're just like, why are the Giants in this game right now?
Tommy DeVito coming in.
Yes, I have no other context other than weird NFL game. Giants 8 plus 8.5.
Do you know who I found out who's their number 2? Jacob Eason.
The Giants number 2 right
Yeah, Jacob
What?
Eason, man. Could we see him playing for the Giants like we did old Jake Fromm?
Dude, let him get in there.
Let him rip, man.
Let the gunslinger get in there and rip, dude.
I know,
Love that.
dude. So, yeah, dude, that's... You got a good record. What's your record on the year?
19-13 on the year.
19-13 on the year. You went 2-1 last week, dude. You're looking good, bro. You're looking good. Your record's better than mine. You've been a steady 3 picks a week. I kind of fluctuate here and there.
Yeah, I've just tried to keep it at 2 college, 1 NFL. I feel like I'm too deep in that format now to change it up.
I just feel like for me, man, like I just love betting on college football.
No, yeah.
Like,
Trust me, these are not the only things that I've taken.
hypothetically.
Yeah, hypothetically.
Oh, so old Cisco Disco Moore is we have a little dilemma with him. He has gone 2-2 the past 3 weeks. So Cisco, if you're listening to this, you have 4 picks this week, and if you go 2-2 this week, man, you're either gonna have 5, 3, or 1 pick, dude. We're gotta have an odd number.
Yeah.
Because you gotta win or lose, man. We can't have none of this 500 bull crap.
Dude, I kind of like the 1 pick. I don't want to limit them because I do like getting Cisco's picks.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe he has to give us like 3 picks and 1 monster lock or something.
Ooh, okay. A mortal lock.
Mortal lock.
Yeah. Yeah, like how Big Cat does the can't lose parlay
Yes.
that loses every week.
Yeah.
I saw something of Big Cat the other day. They were like, oh, like, I haven't really, like, it was, I can't remember what somebody said. It was like Stephen Che said something. They were like streaming, watching the games, and like, Big Cat was like, dude, it's Saturday. Like, I'm gonna bet the whole board. Like, I'm gonna bet on every single game. Like,
Naturally.
yeah, like,
As is my God-given right.
yeah. Is that even a question? Like, I'm gonna bet the board. Like, come on, man. But Cisco, he's got the Phoenix Suns -5. Don't know who they're playing. Don't care. Don't care about the NBA.
Basketball pick. Okay.
So he's got the Cardinals Texans over 49. Man,
Interesting.
CJ Stroud is rolling. I feel like he's kind of leaning. We've talked about it a lot. Like, that is a very obvious under game for the public to bet on. So you take the opposite.
Yep.
So I
Fade the
kind of
public always.
I kind of like that. Maybe if you want to get a little dicey, get a good teaser number in there. Like over 43 and a half, 42 and a half or something like that. That could be good. Then he's got Oregon State -2 against Washington.
Whew, dude, that might be one game where I just hands off.
That's probably going to be the game of the week, man.
That
Honestly.
should be. I mean, dude, all right.
Washington's had a ton of close games, man.
Listen,
a ton.
I'm all for G5 representation. They've called me G5 Alec at times. Now, I mean, obviously it's G5 Josh, but
Yeah.
certain weeks they call me G5 Alec. Washington, Oregon State should have been College Game Day.
I agree. The only
Top
reason
10
they did
matchup.
it, the only reason they did JMU is because they owe JMU a game day.
Yeah.
They do owe that, and they love just giving it to App State, man. Like, not even gonna go there. I could say a lot of things right now about that like probably is gonna get this taken off of YouTube. So we're not gonna do that. So hold up. That is the first part of the podcast, people. First live ass ripping of the podcast.
We're about to get our fourth F-bomb. Put a fucking $20 bill in the jar.
Yeah!
Oh, dear God.
Yeah! Dude, that was a good one. I had Zaxby's before this. So last thing Cisco's got is UGA -10 over Tennessee.
The day that an unexpected fart is not funny, y'all have permission to put a gun to my head and pull a trigger.
Oh, dude, that should be my honorable mention on my Mount Rushmore.
Oh, okay. All right.
We
We'll
won't
get there, we'll get
spoil
there.
that.
All right, let's get to our winners and losers. Who you got?
No. We forgot Pepe.
Oh, Pepe. Goodness gracious.
So I guess this is not Pepe's weekly 4-pack. This is Pepe's weekly 6-pack straight off the zero-turn Toro.
I know somebody who would love that.
I know. I'm going to have probably a 6-pack on Friday night once I
gonna
get
say-
off work.
Old 6-pack Matt McCory dude would love that.
Yeah. Matt McCory, I love you, McCory. Please come on the pod, man.
We'll get him on the pod.
So Pepe, he's got Colorado +4.
Fading the coop.
Fading Wazoo, fading the chicken coop. Army +4 against Coastal Carolina. Love that one, dude.
The troops.
JMU -9. UAB -7.5.
Who do they play?
2 seconds, people.
The Blazers.
The
UAB's
Blazers of
mascot.
UAB.
That's another just little taste of my capabilities.
Trent Dilfer and UAB are playing, oh gosh, Temple at home. Both 3-7.
All right, give me the Blazers.
So then he's got 2 golf wagers for us since the RSM Classic is local here in Georgia.
This will be our first golf wagers of the show.
Yes, first golf wagers of the show. Convenient since we have a golfer on the podcast this week.
That is very convenient.
So shout out Ben Carr. He's making his first official pro start this week at the RSM Classic down in St. Simons. And Ben's had 2 starts technically on, Augusta National at the Masters and the U.S. Open. But this is first start as a pro.
Yeah.
So shout out Ben Carr. Good luck this week, man. We're really rooting for you. Hope you make the cut. Hope you place top 5. Hope you win the damn thing.
Yep.
Let's go, Ben. So Pepe has got JJ Spawn to win. Said small. To win at 48-1.
Brief pause real quick.
Brief pause. So yeah, JJ Spawn at 48-1.
Just a moment, sir.
So yeah, I'll kind of keep on going. JJ Spawn at 48-1, and then he has Colorado +4, Army +4, JMU -9, UAB -7.5. And then the last thing Pepe has got for us, he's got JJ Spawn to finish in the top 10 at 5-1.
All right, dude. First golf wagers. Love
First golf wagers. He's 2-2 on, last week. He's 23-21 on the season. So positive.
Positive.
And I made a phone call to Pepe the other day, and we were talking about my bachelor trip, coming up in the springtime, and I was like, Pepe, I think we're coming to Vegas. And he said, man, I'm going to treat you right in Vegas. He said, we're going to go out to a nice little steak dinner. He's going to give us some locks. We're going to hit the freaking blackjack tables. It's probably going to be, we're hoping it's going to be March Madness when we go out there. So.
Do we do an on-site pod?
Ooh, we can't reveal Pepe's identity.
Well, of course not.
But in the future, we're really looking at March, so we're a little out yet. But yes, a Vegas podcast with all the boys.
Well, we could just all be sitting here, and then we could ask for Pepe's picks, and he could just stick his arm in the frame and hand us a piece of paper or something.
Should we do a pod with all of us, like everybody?
I think that'd be utter chaos, and I'm so down for it.
Yeah, that'd be a ultimate chaos theory.
That would be an ultimate chaos theory. We'd have to have a talking stick.
Yeah, no kidding. Everybody's got to raise their hand to speak.
Yes.
Dude, so yeah, that was our little gambling session. So that kind of wraps up that. My winner this week, I'm going to keep it short and simple, my winners and losers. CJ Stroud winner again. Enough said. He should definitely be the MVP in my vote. Loser Falcons, man. Arthur Smith should be fired.
Fair, very fair. My winner of the week, we already talked about him, Georgia's O-line, over 600 yards of offense, 52 points. Carson Beck finished the game with a clean jersey. Enough said. Loser of the week, I'm feeling better. I'm about to say something bad about Florida. Billy Napier just got body bagged by Kirby. Kirby flipped Nazir Johnson, 4-star D lineman today, and that is now the second recruit that Florida's lost this week. So
To Georgia, yeah.
Obviously got to mention it.
Florida has lost, I want to say 4 or 5 stars in the last 5 or 6 days. So, I mean, yeah, we were just talking about how Napier has got a good recruiting class coming in, and seems like everybody, he still does.
Even with the losses, he's still got a good class.
Still does, but it seems to be people are picking away. Maybe these recruits don't have hope that he'll be there next year, which I think he will.
I think he will too. I think he should be there next year.
Yes, I 100% agree, because I think next year they're going to be a top 25 team. They're going to finish in the top 25. Just my personal opinion.
Dude, I mean, obviously I'd have to look at their schedule, and this is way far out. But I mean, 9-3, 8-4 should be what Florida's looking at next year.
Yeah, Florida's still fighting for the bowl game this year, man. Mm-hmm. So got pretty dicey. So yeah, you want to tell everybody what we got for Mount Rushmore?
Oh, dude, I love this one. Josh found this one on the internet, and it's fantastic. So for Mount Rushmore this week, it is things that we are elite at.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go ahead.
So my honorable mention of things that I'm elite at, honorable mention is being a bad gambler, hypothetically. Mm-hmm. Not very good. Number 4 of things that I'm elite at is place holding. Now, for people that don't know who that is, it's when the field goal happens, snapper snaps, there's a guy that holds the ball for the kicker. That's me. Elite. Let me backtrack. Honorable mention, backup quarterback. Elite backup quarterback.
Dude, hat on, headset.
Yeah, man. I can give signs with the best of them. Number 3 of things that I'm elite at is being lazy when it comes to cleaning out my truck.
Yep, I got that going on right now.
Number 2 is of things that I'm elite at is not answering the phone on Sundays. If you call me, unless it's important, I'm probably not going to answer, man. Like, text message is probably going to be the way to go, but expect it's probably going to be a good 2 hours before I respond. Mm-hmm. Sunday's just kind of like my day where I just need to get away. and I don't want to be on my phone at all. I just want to sit down and watch ball, maybe scroll through some TikToks, but that's about it. And number one of things that I'm elite at is screaming at the referees and or officials or umpires. Don't matter what it is. I hate them. I can't stand them. That is the number one thing I'm elite at.
Range.
That's a good one. That was a good one.
You got a good range of things you're elite at.
I know. Some would say I'm a pretty athletic guy.
Hell yeah.
Not most, but some.
I'd like to hear who says that.
My mom.
All right, my honorable mention is NCAA 14. I put an unholy amount of time into that football game since it came out in 2013. I went on a 26-game win streak freshman year in the dorm room. People would come from all around just to get waxed. Now we get into our top 4 here. I'll do mine in no particular order because I'm elite at all of these things. Claiming I shot the duck that fell. We're sitting there, 4 guys in the duck blind. We all shoot. 1 duck falls. Yes, that was my shot. Yep, that was me. Slicing a golf ball. I have never in my life seen a person that can slice a golf ball like I can. I mean, it should be televised. Starting a sentence and not knowing where it's going. Sometimes words just start coming out and I find my way, 30 seconds into it. Happens. It happens all the time on this show. You think that I've got like extensive notes over here? No, I just start spewing out words. Sometimes my mouth moves faster than my brain does. And I will say this one's number 1. Barking. And context behind this one. Saturday night game in Athens. Let's just say me and good buddy, name redacted, we're good and lubricated. We are ready to cheer on the Georgia Bulldogs. Pause. We were running like a well-oiled machine. There was 3 Ole Miss fans sitting in front of us in the first quarter, and we made them leave before the second quarter started. And in our defense, me and Buddy, name redacted, this guy in front of us was talking smack back and forth to us, and Georgia started thumping on him a little bit, and we were barking, being drunk, obnoxious Georgia fans. So, yeah.
Powerful. Just off the number 1, making somebody leave the game.
I love that, dude. That makes
Powerful.
Me feel good. That makes me feel good. I like that.
Oh man. So yeah, that was kind of the episode really. So we got the chaos theory coming. I know we said it earlier. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, flip over to the YouTube for the interview with Wilson Andress after we get done with this chaos theory.
Yes. So we'll run through our chaos and then
we'll mention it again. So nobody forgets.
We'll mention it again. All right, dude. I love this one.
This is probably one of the best ones that we've done, in my opinion.
I think this one is super cool
because this was new news to me. Honestly, I didn't know this till you texted me that.
I found out about this on the internet today, doing research for it. So this is about Bear Bryant, famed head coach of Alabama. He is 323, 85, and 17 in his career. 6 natties, all at Alabama. His final natty came in 1979. I think he passed away in 1983. God rest his soul. 13 SEC championships. I mean, basically one of the... Is it disputed now? I was going to say undisputed GOAT, but I mean, Nick Saban's is right there. He's top 2.
Yes.
Anyways.
Arguably the greatest coach in NCAA history.
Yes. So, Bear Bryant grew up in Arkansas, played football at Alabama. In 1941, he was the assistant coach at Vanderbilt, and was offered the Arkansas job, which is his home state. So he is on his drive from Nashville back to Arkansas to begin coaching as Arkansas's head coach when on the radio comes on, granted, this is December 7th, 1941, for you history buffs that know what's coming. On the radio, here's about the attack on Pearl Harbor. Bear Bryant turns his car around, drives back to Nashville, and enlists in the Navy. So, following that, in 1945, when he was dismissed from the Navy, took a head coaching job at Maryland, stayed there for a year, went to Kentucky in 1946, led Kentucky to their only SEC championship in 1950. He was offered the Arkansas job again, stayed at Kentucky, then went to Texas A&M, did a 4-year stint at Texas A&M, then went to Bama, where he stayed from 1958 to 1983.
Dude, so, I mean, what if the Japanese didn't bomb Pearl Harbor?
What if they did it 6 hours later?
Yeah,
and he was already at Arkansas. Which, I mean, I don't think that he probably would have enlisted regardless.
Yeah. Thank you for your service, Bear Bryant.
Thank you for your service, Bear Bryant.
Dude, I mean, it's truly crazy. I mean, he just said, screw it. Like, I ride for my country. I'm going to fight. Like, I'm going to fight the good fight.
That is badassery of the highest order.
Like, I had no idea he even served until today.
Served for the entirety of World War II. Now, I don't know any specifics about his service. I don't know if he was deployed in the Pacific or the Atlantic, but I would assume Pacific. So, dude, I mean, I'm a bit of a history nerd, so I've dug into...
I've been really diving into World War II history lately. I don't know about you, man.
Dude, I've done watched a bunch of stuff about...
Well, I just started watching Band of Brothers again.
Oh my gosh.
So, like, this is the second time I've seen it. I watched it probably like almost a year ago. And, yeah, man, I've been really kind of diving in just like on the internet in World War II history.
Have you watched The Pacific yet?
Dude, that is next on my list. No, I have not, but I've seen it on Netflix.
So it is basically the same type of show, also made by HBO, but it's like the counterpart to Band of Brothers, where Band of Brothers is in Europe and Pacific. Well, if y'all can pick up on context clues, it's the war in the Pacific.
If you haven't seen Band of Brothers, man, probably one of the best shows.
Well, dude, I mean,
you get a lot of like interesting actors in that.
Oh yeah, dude, David Schwimmer's in there.
Yeah,
you're just like, what are you doing?
Jimmy Fallon like makes a random appearance for like 15 seconds. Like that's like one line.
Phenomenal TV show. TV show. But yeah, I mean, you can go all the way back to the early 1900s on where this conflict between the U.S. and Japan started. It really reached a breaking point in the 1930s when the U.S. kept on putting embargoes on Japan for their conquest. And that ultimately led to the decision for them to attack Pearl Harbor in December of 1941. And so basically none of that ever happens, or, things go a little bit differently. Then Bear Bryant's the head coach of Arkansas and probably stays there for a really long time, perhaps until the Alabama job opens up in 58. Maybe he doesn't even ever leave Arkansas. And so, yeah, just a real quick summary of all he did. I mean, 6 natties, all at Alabama. The interesting thing here is his final natty came in 1979. Guess who he beat? Arkansas. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, of course, Arkansas was still in the Southwest Conference at this time, so they were not an SEC opponent.
I mean, man, that's just so crazy that, let's just say he goes to Arkansas, right? Arkansas's got one national championship in their school's history, which Jerry Jones, I don't know what year it was, but Jerry Jones was on that football team, if that tells you how long ago it was, because Jerry's probably 105.
Probably the 50s?
Yeah, dude, 60s probably. But, no, but still, man, I mean, it's just crazy. What if Bear Bryant has that success at Arkansas?
Yeah, dude, I mean,
how different the college football landscape would be if the Japanese didn't bomb Pearl Harbor.
If you really want to go deep into here, Bear Bryant never goes there. Bama doesn't have the storied past, the traditions that they have.
Does Saban go there?
Maybe Saban doesn't go there.
Probably.
Maybe Saban doesn't see the winning potential at Alabama.
Yeah. Who knows? I don't know. There's so many different things that could happen.
There's honestly a million different avenues to go down.
That's a big, that's why, like you just said, there's a million different avenues to go down. That's why I like this Chaos 3, because there's so many things that took place after that. You know what I mean? And it's just like, what if? And that's the beauty of it. Like, I like all these what ifs, and this one's probably my favorite one that we've done.
I like this one a lot too, dude.
And, I got a question for you. Not kind of like on the Chaos Theory thing, but would you be interested in... Now, if people don't like this, drop it in the comments. Would you be interested in maybe starting a little segment of like a little history segment?
Don't twist my arm, man.
Dude, I think
Bro.
we should start like a little history segment.
I love just hopping on YouTube and watching random history videos.
Yeah,
If you
everything's
like,
going to be about the Roman Empire.
if you if you like World War II stuff, on Netflix they have World War II colorized or World War II in color.
Oh, dude,
something like
it
that.
is unreal.
The
man.
footage, dude, is crazy.
It's unreal. I've seen it, I think, twice, but most recently being this past weekend.
do we
this
really?
past Sunday.
Do we really care if the people don't want us to do a history segment?
No,
Yeah, I didn't think
I
so.
kind of want to do a history segment.
Yeah, I think we'll do
man.
it regardless.
Yeah, I feel like
Sorry, we value y'all's opinions on most stuff.
I feel like we should tie it into the end, like very end of the episode.
I was thinking we just do it on its own thing, and so that way we can leave it open ended and just roll.
Like another like recording or
Yeah, separate recording, like just Water Hose Drinkers History Edition.
okay, I like that.
We could do Chaos Theories for History as well. We could get into some
That could
crazy
be
stuff
a
there.
chaos theory.
We could get
yeah.
into some crazy stuff.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we've never really specified if chaos theories in sports or not. So
I don't
we
think
could do
there's any
that.
reason to
man.
limit ourselves.
Yeah, dude. We're gonna start looking next week. We're gonna have some history for y'all.
Yeah.
We're gonna look into it.
I hope y'all enjoy just sitting here
If anybody,
listening to us brainstorm.
yeah, no kidding. If anybody has any ideas on like what specific time period you would like to hear from, like if you, like, oh, I want to hear something about World War One, like I want to hear something about the Civil War, World War Two, like whatever, man. Like,
I got a great one
okay,
for World War II.
okay,
You want to hear it?
yeah.
You want us to go ahead and do it? All right, dude, we're just going to go ahead and get
Yeah,
started.
yeah,
All right,
let's
I'm so
do it.
excited.
Let's do it.
All right, so 1944, early 1944, Germany is working on some cutting edge technology in jet engines for airplanes, right? So a lot of the big problem with Germany's failure, I say the big problem with Germany's failure. That
Pause.
Germany's failure was a good thing. All right, let me get this out. Like I said, I don't know where my sentences are going.
That is why it's on your Mount Rushmore.
Yes. Part of the reason for D-Day's success is that Germany could not get sufficient air support to defend the beaches of France. Well, Germany is working on cutting-edge technology in jet engines that allow their planes to go so much faster. Hitler is not ready to showcase it to the world, and so he says, no, hold off, like we're not ready to show all our cards.
Yeah.
Well, they say, and this is right before the D-Day landing, they say that if Hitler says yes to that and they are ready to send them out, that D-Day is likely a failure because they have air superiority over France.
Really? I didn't know that, man. That's crazy. We're gonna dive into this shit.
Yeah.
We're really gonna dive into this shit, man.
Yeah.
Because I hope everybody likes history, man. I mean, this is just something else for us to talk
If you
about.
don't, you're a fool, man.
Yeah, I mean, I really, really enjoy history. And what I was listening the other day, man, I think I was listening to Macrodosing. And they kind of dive into a lot of history and just like stuff going on too. And which is really interesting with PFT, Arian Foster, like
I think that's such a
pretty good
strange
point.
combination.
I
But
know,
it
dude.
works.
And they talk about sports, man, but like they don't really focus on just sports. Like,
Well, dude, I don't see anybody with a gun to our head saying this has to be just a Georgia and Eagles podcast.
yeah, no kidding. But what I was getting to was they were talking. I think it was them. They were talking about like how Hugo Boss is still like a company because like they made the Nazi uniforms, and like how like Volkswagen and Mercedes are still like thriving, even though
yeah.
they were basically like Hitler's product.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of amazing to me that they haven't gotten canceled yet. Honestly,
Oh, dude,
just
I
for
mean-
being like, of course it was so long ago, but like, of course it's not. Nothing that happened was their fault, other than the guy with the funny looking mustache.
Well, dude, I mean, I say almost every, but so many American corporations had their hand in weapons manufacturing in the 40s because that's what we had to have.
Yeah, Walt Disney. I mean, he wasn't really a nice guy at all.
No.
Henry Ford did.
Big time in weapons manufacturing.
Yeah. Isn't there rumors that Henry Ford was like a racist or something? Like,
Probably.
yeah, I think maybe he was like anti-Semitic or something like that.
Probably.
I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't want to.
Oh, dude.
I don't want to jump into that.
We'll go into like Operation Paperclip. We'll talk about some of the stuff that the Japanese did. Yeah, let's keep workshopping this.
We're gonna keep on workshopping that.
I could come up with 10 hours of content on just World War II alone.
Yeah, we're probably gonna drag onto this and make it a 2-hour-long episode if we keep on talking about it.
Right. Well, you gotta look at it as we're doing this for us.
But yeah,
and we appreciate y'all listening. We really do.
I've been really diving into World War II, so we're gonna be in touch throughout the next week, talking about some ideas about this, man.
All right, just a synopsis for the past 20 minutes. We are gonna start doing history episodes as well.
Yeah, no kidding. But dude, you got anything else for us before we go?
Great episode today. We got into a lot of interesting discussion there. We got a little bit derailed, but dude, those are honestly the best conversations. Make sure if you're on YouTube, stick around for our interview with good buddy Wilson Andress, and if you were on Spotify, don't forget to switch over to the YouTube so you can catch that interview.
Yeah, and if you don't have time right now, if you're on Spotify or YouTube to watch the interview with Wilson, it's also going to be posted on our Twitter as well.
Yes.
So that is also another platform that you can reach it. So be sure to like and subscribe. Like, retweet, give us a thumbs up, follow, whatever it is, and just keep on drinking that hose water, man.
Keep on drinking that hose water.
And this is going to become a history podcast from now on. So
yep.
All right, y'all. Be sure to watch the interview with Wilson Andress again. We love y'all. Thanks for watching as always. Stay thirsty. Boost your immune system. It's getting cold out. Hose water. Signing off.
The most important game is the next one.
All right, welcome back to Water Hose Drinkers. Today we are here with former Georgia Southern golfer Wilson Andress. Willie, I'm super excited for this. I can't thank you enough.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me on. Looking forward to it.
The first thing I got for you today is, you've been teammates with a lot of great athletes over, your years through Little League and then in college and high school. Could you say I was the, most athletic teammate you've ever had?
I mean, absolute freak athlete, all the way back to the bats in minor league. I mean, we were riding right bench together. We were absolute ballers back in the day.
Yeah,
so you don't have to.
I probably led the team in strikeouts and walks, but it's all right. I found a way to get on the base path.
Yeah, our 9-year-old year was rough. We got a lot better since then.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, we produced 2 college athletes here, so I mean, come on.
Oh yeah.
But just for everybody, how often do you consume hose water?
And last semester of college, didn't have many classes, so it was pretty frequent. Now, since college, not as often. More just Georgia Southern games and events nowadays, but the definitely been better since college.
Just for people who don't know, give a little backstory on yourself. Of course, we obviously know your backstory, but just for people who don't know you.
Yeah, I'm from Macon, Georgia. Played on the golf team at Southern. Was Josh's roommate freshman year, actually, and was there for 5 years at Southern, and now I'm playing professional golf. Was on the Canadian Tour this summer. So that's about it.
Wilson, was Josh a good roommate or no?
He was a good roommate. Didn't see him a whole lot that the first couple months. I was probably worse the first few months than him.
All right, hold on. Josh can't hear us now. You can give us a real answer.
We had some good stories for sure. Can't be told though to the public.
Yeah, we had to share a bathroom, and that bathroom was not the cleanest thing in the world at all.
No, not at all. I think your mom bought us all this cleaning supplies, and I think it was still in the wrapping when we left school.
100%. 100% it was.
So Wilson, can about the recruiting process for golf, and is it similar to other sports? I mean, what kind of led you to Georgia Southern?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's similar to most sports. I mean, the only difference, I mean, what led me to Southern more than anything is just the coaches, the players, just the whole vibe at Southern, close to home, good Southern hospitality, the whole all of Statesboro. But I mean, I don't think it's much different than other sports. You're kind of talking to a bunch of schools, you're looking around and kind of seeing what's best for you. So I would say it's a pretty similar process to most other sports.
For you, pretty much your love growing up was baseball, and it was a big part of your life. And you always grew up, just playing golf, here and there when we were kids, but you really didn't get serious till seventh, eighth grade.
Yeah, I grew up playing travel ball, all stars, everything. Baseball is my life, and kind of got burnt out. I would say end of sixth grade, kind of beginning of seventh grade, and kind of fell in love with golf. Kind of baseball, you're kind of same thing every time. It's like same fields are the same, everything. And kind of what got me to golf is like golf, it's like different course. Every time's a different shot. Like you never have the same lie. Like everything's different and everything's always changing. So that's kind of what I loved about golf, and it was different than kind of almost any other sport. I mean, basketball, it's everything's kind of the same atmosphere. Every hoop's 10 feet. I mean, everything's the same. Golf's so different. So that's kind of what I loved about golf. You have to be so creative and you're just always trying to get better.
Do you think getting somewhat of a late start compared to other people affected your recruiting process at all?
I wouldn't say too much. I mean, it definitely got me a little bit behind at first. I had to work harder than most people to catch up, but I think that helped me in the long run because I think some kids, when they start so early, kind of like me in baseball, you get burnt out. And so for golf, it was starting late, I think helped me, if anything. It kind of, I always saw these kids better than me. And so I was always working hard to catch them, while other kids, when they start early, they're kind of used to being on top. And I think some of those kids kind of slack off and don't get as good as they can. So I think it was kind of a gift that I started out later than most kids did.
Do you feel like you had a tough transition from being so dedicated to baseball that time? A swing transition, I guess, from playing baseball to golf?
It wasn't too hard for me. I mean, I guess at a younger age, it wasn't too bad. I know, like, when people get older, it's pretty hard to swap if they played baseball their entire life, get it done with college and try to start playing golf. It's a lot harder. But I think at a younger age, so I've always grew up playing golf too, it helped a lot. So it wasn't too hard to transition.
Well, I
Yep.
stopped playing baseball in 17. I still like to blame my bad swing on that. So I was really hoping you'd back me up there.
you know, Pretty much your own backyard being a golf course does help too.
Yeah, it does. We also got a putting green downstairs at our house. We've had plenty of grudge matches down there. Plenty of holes in the wall down there from some intense putting contests.
I feel sure your youngest brother Lawson has put the majority of the holes in the wall.
Oh yeah, he doesn't take losing real well, to say the least. You know that from experience.
He was used to getting beaten up all the time when he was a little kid, so he don't like losing too much.
No, not at all.
Talk about your experience at Georgia Southern and some of your favorite memories. I mean, a couple of stats for you. Your Georgia Southern Student Athlete of the Year, 4.0 through 5 years of college, never made a B in college. You got one solo career win at Georgia Southern, and you were a part of the highest ranked team in Georgia Southern golf history.
Yeah, my experience Southern is, I mean, I wouldn't give it up for anything. It was some of the most fun years of my life. Those 5 years are awesome. I mean, the probably the biggest memories would be the Schenkel wins and the Sun Belt Conference Championship. And then the probably my favorite tournament we went to the Bahamas. It was my sophomore year. And we actually kind of got in the casino, realized it was actually legal for us to do it. So we all kind of learned what blackjack was and had a good time for that event.
I've heard
Well,
you
Josh told
Go ahead, Alec. All good.
I was going to say, Josh talked about a couple of your accolades, but one of them they didn't mention was you being on the Canadian tour, dude. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that was so it started in June. I did Q school for it back in late February and finished, I think it was T11, which got me conditional status in the first few events, and it started in June, mid-June. We started all the way in Victoria, and it was an incredible experience. I played 9 events, and we went all the way from the East Coast to almost the West. We were starting the West Coast, went all the way almost to the East Coast, and I went from never I've been to Canada before. Now I feel like I've know everything about Canada. It was really cool. The golf courses, just everything was different. I mean, Quebec was crazy. It felt like I was in France. If you've never been there, like all the road signs are in French, everything. And I actually took my car up to that event. So I'm on my phone trying to navigate with these French signs. It was comical, but it was definitely great experience. Learned a lot up there. Met a lot of cool people and did a lot of great things.
What was your favorite place you got to go to in Canada?
I would say Victoria, but the first event was probably the coolest. I mean,
Still there?
food up there is not great though. It's like I don't know. They don't know how to. It's probably better for you because they don't probably put as much stuff on the food, but it's not as good as it is back here in the South for sure.
Do you want to say that again? I'm sorry. I think it kind of broke up on my computer. I don't know if it did for you, Alec.
No, I got that one clear. I'm not sure if if you could hear that or not.
Yeah, it kind of messed up on my computer. Sorry, Wilson, if you want to say that again.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, I was saying the one thing about Canada that's just not like down here in the South, the food's just not anywhere near as good. I don't know if they don't know how to season their food or what. It's probably better for you, but that's the one thing every off week I look forward to getting back home and eating some good food.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that's a whole different kind of style of food, compared to what we have in Georgia versus, you can go down the road and find a McDonald's to hibachi to, whatever. Canada might not. I mean, I don't know. I've never been there. Got some different options versus, Macon, Georgia.
Yeah, there were not many Chick-fil-A's up there, so that was a change.
Just needed a
I go,
chicken biscuit.
yeah, that was the first thing I got every time I got back home was the number one from Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I feel like that is probably one of the top things I would miss the most is Chick-fil-A.
Chick
Um,
Fil A, cheese,
oh yeah, dude, 100%. Waffle House,
sweet tea, just in general.
for sure. Um, Wilson, if you just want to tell the people, what tour you're on now, what are you doing? What have you been up to?
So I just did Q school about a month ago in Nebraska, missed it by a few. So played in some Mondays and just some mini tour stuff right now. So not a whole lot. Just wait until Q school again in the spring. So just kind of working on some stuff in my game, really. Working with a new swing coach, Tim Cook, who's over in Hilton Head. So just kind of fine tuning some stuff and getting ready.
What would you say is maybe your biggest strength, and what do you feel like your biggest weakness is? I guess what do you spend the most time practicing on currently?
I'd say my strengths definitely putting and just short game in general, and then course management. I feel like I'm really good at just kind of playing with what I got and know how to get around the course. And my weakness would definitely be my iron game, long irons especially. So that's kind of what I'm working on a lot with my coach right now.
You've definitely proven you've had a good short game. From the bunker last year at the Schenkel off a girl's kneecap, and then rolls back into the same bunker you were in, and then hole out on number 18 at Forest Heights. I mean, how do you manage to go from hitting a girl's knee, rolling all the way back to you, and then chipping in on the very next shot? In
Yeah,
front of, in front of hundreds of people too. Like,
that was definitely the coolest shot I've ever hit in my life. That'll never be topped. Yeah, the first shot, I hit a sandwich, and that bunker's like we always joke around like that pin, like that bunker's like last place you want to be. Like I'd rather be anywhere on that golf hole than that bunker to that for that shot. And when I hit it in there in the fairway, I was like, oh gosh, here we go. I was like, I'm not backing down. I'm hitting it back there. And the first shot I hit was a sand wedge, and it just came out like so hot. And I saw it going at that little girl, and I just like ducked my head. I was like, I knew it was about to hit her. Thought I was gonna hit her in the head, ducked. The next thing you know, coach's like, watch out. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And the ball comes back in the bunker. I was like, I thought the little girl threw it back at me or something. And hit a lob wedge in the next one, ended up making it. That was wow. I still can't believe that happened. I mean, you could give me 10 buckets of balls and I still wouldn't be able to pull that off again.
Yeah, I got to witness that thankfully, and I never laughed so hard, before and after you chipped in. I mean, that was honestly quite entertaining, especially the fact that you chipped in afterwards. I mean, jumping in Coach Carter's arms was a good moment for you too.
That was a special way to end my last Schenkel for sure.
So I have a sneaking suspicion that Tiger is going to be one of these answers. So we'll leave him out of this. But who are some of your favorite golfers to watch? Maybe guys you model your game after?
I always love watching Xander Schauffele. I love watching him putting. Growing up, one of our good family friends are the Perels. So Scott Perel is always kind of like whenever I got to watch him play was pretty cool. He's on the senior tour, Champions Tour now. So that was kind of always one of my favorite golfers. And then Russell Henley, who grew up at Idlewild, where I play at, he's another guy I like to watch a lot. So I would say probably like the top dogs though. Roy and Xander probably my two favorites. So
Yeah, I mean, obviously Tiger's kind of assumed at this point for mostly everybody's favorite golfer, which no hate. I mean, how can you how can you not how can you dislike Tiger Woods, honestly?
yeah, I mean what he's done for the game. I mean the shots he's pulled off. I mean every tournament you watch, there's always gonna be a Tiger highlight of some insane shot he hit. So it's hard not to like that guy.
Alec, I don't know if you remember me telling you a while back when we interviewed Ben, but we used to have this big ass Tiger Woods fat head in our dorm room, dude. Like life size Tiger fat head.
That was the only thing in our dorm for a few weeks. I mean, that thing was huge too. I remember
Yeah.
first week of school, we had to go down to like our dorm meeting, and it was in the middle of the PGA when Tiger's like one of his first majors back, and he was in contention.
Yes.
We were like 15 minutes late to that thing. We all had on our phones propped up. Like we got in and out so quick out of that thing. I
Yeah.
think Ben might have even shown up. He was so locked in on Tiger. It was
First
hilarious.
day of college, half drunk, go and walk down to meet your RA. I mean, for the first time. I mean, like Wilson said, dude, we had nothing on our walls for probably about a month except this Tiger Woods fat head. That was the only thing on our wall.
Oh yeah.
It was terrible. Like I hadn't even decorated my bedroom or anything. Like it was just a Tiger Woods fat head up in the living room.
Dude, I completely forgot about fatheads. You just unlocked an old memory. That makes me just want to go find a random player to put up on the wall.
Oh yeah.
You need to
Josh
get
had
a
him
life
so
size
many back
one.
in the day.
Yeah, I had them all over my bedroom, man. I had like a whole collection. Like my entire walls were covered in mini fat heads. I had a Darrell Revis fat head in my bedroom too. Yeah, everywhere. But we got two kind of off subject questions. But what is your
Uh,
fourth favorite soft drink? What's up?
Fourth, fourth
I was saying,
favorite culture.
serious question. Need to be taken seriously.
Yes,
So
yes. Very serious
I don't
question.
drink soft drinks anymore, but when I did, I would say like probably Fanta would be my fourth favorite soft drink
Grape,
when I was drinking them.
grape Fanta.
No, orange.
Okay. Oh,
Orange.
okay. I'd say as a whole, orange is better, but an ice cold grape from time to time.
Yeah, those were the thing back when spring break. My dad always had us a 12 pack of grape Fanta
Dude,
at all times.
I swear, Alec, when we used to go on spring break when we were kids, Wilson's right. Like big ass cases of grape Fanta, and we get through those like clockwork.
Down.
Clockwork, bro.
All right, so this next very, very important. We're just past Halloween now, so we need your Mount Rushmore of Halloween candy. Your top
Start.
4, and you can give an honorable.
Yeah, so how we do
Oh.
it, we give an honorable mention and then 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. Trying to think.
I'll give you mine if you want me to go first. If you need
Yeah,
some
you
time.
got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you some time. I'd say, what did I say the other day, Alec? Okay.
I don't even remember.
I got it. Honorable mention, just out of the little kid in me, would be the Pixie Sticks. Get that sugar rush when you're like 8 years old is just unbeatable. Number 4, I would have to say Snickers. I really love a good Snickers. Was always the best when they give you the full size ones. You know, there was mostly everybody
Oh,
gives you minis. Number 3, I really love Airheads, specifically the blue. Gotta love the Airheads. Number 2, Skittles, obviously. Number 1, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, hands down. No questions asked.
No questions asked.
Yeah, those are solid. I would go honorary mention Milk Duds. I don't know, something about them. I like Milk Duds. But then my others are kind of basic. I'd say probably 4, say Kit Kat, 3 Butterfinger, 2 Snickers, and then one's actually I'd say a Nerd Rip. I don't know if you've had those before, but they're good.
Okay, dude, I respect those.
Alec, what were we talking about Butterfingers on last week's episode on the podcast?
We might have been, dude. I'm not a huge fan of Butterfingers, but I respect the hustle. I'll definitely eat them.
We were saying they were like our bottom of the basket kind of candy. It's like the last ones you got, like they're good, but they're not your favorite. So it's like you're gonna eat it
Yeah.
anyway because you're almost out of candy.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know. They're pretty good to me. Just about any candy I'm not really gonna turn down though, honestly.
Milk Duds for me are like, I don't know why when I was a kid, when I'd go to the movies, I'd only want Milk Duds. So like I associate Milk Duds with going to the movie theater. So if I go to the movie theater, I'm getting a thing of Milk Duds. I don't know what it is. But they are
They're good.
They are. Al, you got anything else for us?
What's your favorite golf course that you've ever played at?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Of course. I feel like I'm gonna forget one.
You can throw out a couple if you want to.
Congaree, where actually the golf team just played West Point at in a match. That's definitely up there for me. Trying to think of another. Played Pebble before, Pebble Beach. That was really cool. And then actually I'm looking at the wall. I have a few golf balls in here. Wade Hampton definitely is another one. I have a hard time like ranking them because they're all just so different styles, everything. So, but those are definitely 3 of my favorites. Probably leaving a few out, but those courses are awesome.
I give everybody at Houston Lake Country Club a run for their money. So, you know, they've seen me probably twice in the last 2 months playing golf out there, but I'm dangerous. I'm missing the member guests this weekend too. So, what are you gonna?
I put a lot.
We got a big game Saturday, so it's worth missing for that.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. We need to get Alec back down to Statesboro this weekend for this football game.
Big for the 6.5 win total. We got to have it.
Oh, this is monstrous for the total.
You know, listen, you know, one thing I did forget to ask is, I know you're not a gambling man since we can't gamble in the state of Georgia, but I heard through a little bird you know our good friend Pepe. Is that true?
I do. Supposedly, I think he's got some good locks for this weekend, is what rumor has it. So definitely keep an eye out for what he posts.
Yeah. For sure. Well, Wilson, thank you again, man. I really appreciate you coming on the podcast, and hopefully we can do this soon, sometime in person, hopefully.
Yeah, enjoy it. Thank y'all for having me on.
Wilson, great to talk to you again, brother. We wish you all the best of luck. We're in your corner.
Thank you.
All right, see y'all.
See ya.